Boxing's holy grail where some of the sport's finest fighters have etched their names into history.
Ali Frazier, Gatti Ward, Barrero Morales, rivalries that went to war in that square circle, captivating the fans, leaving them wanting more.
And now Canelo and Triple G add their names to that list. And today they hit the scales to make this trilogy official. Welcome to the DAZN Boxing Show, live.
We are live from Las Vegas as the countdown to Canelo versus Triple G continues. In just over 24 hours, this modern-day rivalry will reach its crescendo with an eagerly awaited third fight. And we're here to see the full weigh-ins ahead of a stacked fight night live, don't forget, on the DAZN pay-per-view. Welcome, everyone, to the balcony of the T-Mobile Arena, overlooking what is an absolutely packed Toshiba Plaza. The fans have piled in to see their hero, Canelo Alvarez, as he takes on his nemesis. I think it's fair to say he's nemesis in Gennadiy Golovkin. One of the best trilogies, I think, in the history of the sport. It might be, right? I know you're going to correct me on that, Barack, but it might be. Already it is. Talking about trios and trilogies, I think we've assembled the best trio in boxing here today. I really do. I agree with Barack, myself, Adi Oladipo.
If you do say so yourself.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back, right? You got to do that. Look, this is amazing, right? This is what Canelo does. We were watching as the gates opened and the fans ran in.
Yes.
It's crazy, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
But what's crazy also about that is that a lot of those fans had Mexican flags with Triple G shirts.
Oh.
And it's almost like a badge of honor to say, I'm Mexican, but I'm supporting Triple G.
You know what it dawned on me as I watched the crowd? And I referenced Canelo to LeBron James before, but nobody talks about the amount of pressure that Canelo has had since 21. I'm talking about since the Mosley fight, fighting on pay-per-view events at this elite level.
Wow.
And he's had to compete and perform at a high level every single time.
By the way, look at the fans here at the Toshiba Plaza. Now, we were here a few months ago for Canelo versus Bivol, and look, that was a magnificent fight.
Yes.
But I feel like the crowd on this occasion,
no, I counted every single one.
They seem a bit more.
It's 14 more.
Is there 14 more? There you go.
Seriously,
14 more.
it might be 1,000 more, and I'm serious.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, I mean, this trilogy has been talked about since the first fight. People were saying, I need to see it again. Yeah. After the second one, I need to see another one. They're going to get it on Saturday night.
They certainly are going to get another one on Saturday night. Look, so much action to come between now and the weigh. Remember, you can catch all the action live on the DAZN pay-per-view. Make sure you scan the QR code. You do not want to miss this part of history.
Very few fights can be called super fights. This is one of them. Both men are firing what they've got.
This is a draw. There has to be a rematch. And new WBC. There's a score to settle.
There's real bad blood here.
Everybody wants to fight, right? He took a lot of shit.
I don't want talking with him. I want to fight.
You know, I think a Canelo fight week will get canceled if this guy is not in attendance. I mean, talk about Canelo's #1 fan, but he's a hell of a host on Barstool Sports. Our guy, Large, is in the building.
Are you still pissing blood from when Canelo hit you?
No,
in the gut?
so I went from pissing blood to the hematoma in this arm, and I'm having it all documented with my attorneys because this is starting to
You're
turn
setting Canelo up.
It's elder abuse.
It was part of the plan. It was part of the plan. No, but listen, I mean, obviously you developed a great rapport with Canelo over the years. You're a huge fight fan. You actually know the sport. But outside of him in the ring, what is it about Canelo that you find daring?
So I obviously love the backstory like everybody else. And then I also find that if you just peel away, like the way he went to Spanish in the press conference yesterday, like because the crowd was so with him, I had the same thing happen to me the second time I interviewed him where he did the first 3 minutes in Spanish. Then once he gets that familiarity, then he went to English on me. And then all of a sudden, once you're like a friend of his, it's almost like family. I think I'm going to get to the house.
I want to let you know that we've been there way before you. I want to let you know.
No, I'm following the footsteps of giants, right?
No,
But listen, you used to be such a Triple G fan.
Yes.
Until you and Canelo became bosom buddies, pen pals.
Right.
You know? So how do you see this fight playing out? People are saying knockout Canelo. I don't agree.
Don't put
What
him on
about
the spot.
No, you put me on the spot all you want. I don't see the knockout.
No.
I have it going the distance. I boosted some odds for it. You know, Triple G's the type of guy who goes out on his shield. I mean, I know Jonathan Banks might be a little bit more skittish than another corner might have been as far as throwing in a towel for a corner stoppage. I mean, it's a very, very interesting fight. I think it's almost guaranteed to be the best of the three. I like it going the distance, and I like Canelo having a definitive decision
Victory.
this time. Just one of those ones where there's no questions.
Oh, talk about what's going on Fight Now, though. You guys are streaming some stuff live, bringing some excitement behind stage, backstage at the fight.
It's annoying how much we're doing. So I'm going to be doing the fighter interviews on the way in, which I did with you guys last year. Last fight. I hope to do it again. Then we have two guys, Caleb and Roan. They're going to be roaming around doing man on the street stuff within the arena. Then Dave, Dan, and Robbie will be ringside doing the play-by-play. So Barstool's boots on the ground. We're part of the whole thing. We're glad to be a part of it. It's the biggest thing we've ever been involved with. And I'm like giddy about the whole thing.
How big is boxing today? I mean, what type of vibe are you getting over here?
Yeah, so I'm an older guy than you guys, and I've seen like the peaks and valleys, and I think that we're starting to get back towards that peak again. Because when it was that lows, and you know, like obviously UFC is giving people some diversions and whatnot, but I think with the quality of the champions, the generational fighters that we can just start rattling off, the young guys, like a Bam Rodriguez, who looks like he has the opportunity to be a generational fighter, I think boxing is heading back towards one of those peaks.
Well, listen, so your prediction is safe to say Canelo, definitive win by decision.
Yes, that is my call.
We got a chance to catch up with Canelo. We didn't get banged up by you.
No, because you're cowards.
We just sat and talked to the champ. Take a listen. All right, we're joined here by the face of boxing, our guy, big fight week, Canelo Alvarez.
What's up, champ?
Thanks for joining us.
How are you?
Good. You've been through this so many times, like so many big fights, so much media over and over and over again since you were 21. How do you stay with the smile on your face, deal with the media, and be okay?
It's a fake smile. Fake smile. Akbar again.
I smile just a little bit. You know, it's work. I take like a work. I visualize myself. For this, I need to do it, and I respect you guys to support me, to support my fight. So it's part of my job.
Listen, I was listening to Triple G's interview with Ade, and we kept talking about Mexican style. And I remember when that first started, were you ever disrespected that he was using that phrase, Mexican style?
No, I know what he tried. He tried to bring Mexican fans. Yeah. That's what he tried, and
it worked a little bit. There was a couple there, 2 or 3.
It's fine. It's fine. But that's why he say I have the Mexican style and everything because he wants Mexican fans.
Some of the greatest fighters of all time that you admire had trilogies, right? I mean, you've accomplished so much in the sport. You already have a Hall of Fame career. But do you feel like you needed that trilogy? Ali had a trilogy.
No.
Pacquiao had a trilogy. It'd be nice to have one.
It's nice to have one, right? But I think I don't need it to be in the books of history.
Right.
But look, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to bring this kind of fight to my fans. I've been give the fans really good fight, so I'm happy to be here. So
100%. Now, going back to that Mexican style, he's also saying he's going to do that Mexican style. He didn't do it the second fight.
I love it.
You think he's going to do it?
I love the idea.
Okay.
Now,
I'm ready.
You've been talking about knockouts a lot, and you normally don't, project that I want to stop this guy. Do you feel like maybe you're putting a little pressure on yourself? Will you feel
pressure. That's what I work better.
Saul, will you be unhappy if you don't get the knockout?
No. I prepare myself for 12 rounds, but if the knockout comes, it's gonna be.
But you're looking for it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah.
Usually when you have a trilogy, that means that the fights are close and it's two great fighters. Do you feel like he's your best opponent?
Yeah, he's one of my best opponents. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I think the styles make the big fight we had. And that's good for boxing.
So what do you think about these odds? They have the odds so much in your favor, like you're just going to go in there and
I don't care. Yeah. I don't care about the odds because when I fought him the last 2 fights, I'm not a favor. So and I win. So I don't pay attention on that too much.
Recently, I saw an interview, a clip of somebody asking you about Bivol. Do you want the rematch
even if he loses to Ramirez. You said no. Do you still feel that way? Like if he doesn't beat Ramirez, you don't want to avenge that loss?
Look, I want Ramirez win. No, it's Mexican, and I want him win, obviously. But it depends on the results, right? If Bivol lost, I don't think we're gonna have rematch, but we'll see.
But what about that personal feeling about wanting to avenge the loss? Like, you think you'd be okay with it?
I lost trying other things, right?
Trying to be great, 175.
That's the people who don't talk about it.
No.
They talk about when
we do. We talk about it.
Yeah, no, other people. They talk about when somebody come on my way. Oh, he bring him in his weight class, but he don't talk. He move up and everything. But it's okay. I tried something else. I don't need it. I don't need to take that kind of risk. But I love take risk because I love challenge. And look, my mind is okay. I'm okay because I try something different, and that's what make the great fighters, right?
So if he does win Bivol, do you want him to come down to 168? Because he said that
no, 175.
You'll still go back up.
175.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, that's good. But check this out. You said that you've never really disliked anybody like this. You hate this guy. What have you done different in training camp? How does that show?
No, I did my best in training camp. One of my best training camp I ever had, and I'm ready. I'm ready for Saturday. I started running again three times a week because, you know, in 2018 I have surgery in my both knees.
Yeah.
So
I remember you used to wear the brace all the time. Yeah.
I started running again three times a week. So I feel strong. I feel ready for Saturday.
So even after this fight, let's say you win, Bivol's going to get a different fighter too, somebody who's been running and getting ready.
Yeah, different. A lot of things happen in that training camp, but it's okay. Lose is okay because, you know, you learn a lot of things. You learn what you don't need to do. So it's okay. You need to keep forward, and that's it.
What does Canelo? What else do you have to accomplish? I mean, you're chasing greatness, moving up and down weight classes. There's nothing else to do. But what do you want to accomplish? What else?
Look, always is something there, right? Always is something there.
Challenge.
You never know what is gonna be there. So, but I'm ready for the big challenge in boxing.
Well, listen, I mean, always a pleasure chopping up with you. Good luck on Saturday night. I think it's gonna be a special night.
Thank you.
Canelo Alvarez.
The fans are here, the stars are here as well. Look who we've been joined by, a guy that's getting so much love from the fans there, Mikey Garcia. Mikey, this must make you a little bit tempted to put the gloves on again.
No. I decided not to fight anymore, you know, but now I can enjoy coming to a fight, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the energy. You know, something like this is terrific. It's amazing what, you know, an event like this puts on and how much love you get from the fans. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be invited and just enjoy really from the outside.
It's amazing what Canelo's been able to do, isn't it? I mean, he can, like, even after a loss, by the way, to Bivol, thousands still turn up for a weigh-in, Mike. A weigh-in.
No, man, like I said, it's amazing. He's definitely, you know, the face of boxing, definitely the face of the Mexican fan base. And
look at that, Mikey. Look at that.
It's terrific. Look at
crazy.
And everybody's been here for at least an hour already.
Yeah.
You know, they're waiting for Canelo, anticipating his arrival to weigh in and get the show started.
Indeed, and the show will be starting very, very soon. Let's talk about the main event, a trilogy. I think what could be one of the best trilogies in boxing, right? Canelo versus GGG. There seems to be a bit of spite there as well now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're saying some bad words to each other. I think it means it's going to be a really good fight. It's going to be action straight away.
Look, I think it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a tremendous fight. I think Triple G wants to prove to everybody that the other two fights could have easily been his way. And by winning this fight tomorrow night, it's almost erasing the past.
Yeah.
So that's why Triple G is so motivated, so hungry. But at the same time, Canelo wants to prove to everybody that there's no mistake, that he is the man. Even coming off of a loss, he's still going to perform. He's going to show everybody that he is, you know, one of the very top pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
What do you make about Golovkin coming in at 40 now, but the extra 8 pounds, 168 pounds? Is that a good thing not to cut weight at 160, or is it maybe too much to add that much muscle onto a body at 40?
I actually think it's beneficial for Triple G to accept this fight at a limit of 168. Because of the age, it's actually probably better for him to move up a little bit of pounds to avoid hurting himself and hurting his body to cut so much to 160. He's been at 160 his whole career. I think this actually is going to benefit him and allow him to perform that much better.
What does a win do for Canelo here? I mean, look, Canelo, everyone wants to fight Canelo. Guys at 154 pounds are calling that Canelo. If Canelo does win, and look, the bookies say he's favorite to win, does he try and go the Bivol rematch? Does he maybe get a Benavidez, a Charlo in the ring? What do you think he does?
I think he really wants the rematch. He's been talking about that with Bivol. However, I think there's other fights that can lead to a much bigger rematch. I think he can probably look into Benavidez, Charlo, or somebody else alike and build up the rematch even bigger. He's a fighter. He's willing to fight anybody. That loss to Bivol really hurt him, and I think he wants to eventually get his revenge on that.
What about Gennadiy Golovkin? Let's not forget, unified champion at 160. If he loses, is it just a case of we got back down to 160? Or at 40, do you need to start maybe looking and talking about retirement?
Well, I mean, I don't know if he wants to retire already because he still holds, 3 belts at 160. He may decide to just come back to 160 and defend those titles, or maybe pursue the last title remaining. But again, it all depends on how this fight turns out for him. Let's see how his body reacts. Let's see how his body responds. Even if he loses, but he feels good and does well, then there's no reason for him to think about retirement. He's been a tremendous champion. He's a great fighter. I think there's still plenty more fights for him.
That's the main event. I want to get your thoughts on the co-main event. Someone that you know very well, Jesse Rodriguez. Look how much you smile just speaking about him.
Yes.
I think personally my fighter of the year takes on Israel Gonzalez, defends his WBC super flyweight title. It's almost like none of us knew who this kid was.
Yeah.
And in the last 12 months, he's now a superstar.
Definitely. This is a great platform, great opportunity for him to showcase his skills once again. He already defeated former champions in Carlos Cuadras and Ringside, did tremendous, just made a splash. You know, everybody now knows him in boxing. But now this is a great platform to showcase that once again to the more casual boxing fans. Being the co-headliner for the Canelo fight is tremendous for him, great for his career. He's already a contender for Fighter of the Year. I think this is what he needs. You know, nobody knew him last year, everybody knows him this year. And I think the sky's the limit for him. He's only 22, already one of the best fighters, you know, considered one of the very best at 115 pounds. I think he's going to be able to do so much more in the years upcoming.
No, he certainly is. Mikey, what about yourself, Mikey? You've been in the sport for so many years. So many years. We're not going to lose that knowledge, are we? Are you at least going to become a trainer?
You know what? I'm going to leave the training to my brother and my nephew. I'm not going to be a trainer. I don't plan on training.
We can get
fighters.
you on the DAZN Boxing Show with us then.
I can do this. I can commentate. I can enjoy from the outside, not have to worry about being, you know, involved in the fight. It's very busy. It's tedious work. Lots of weeks, you know, of training, you know, a fighter. And I don't want to do that. I don't see myself doing that. I do, however, come to the gym on occasions and give some pointers, you know, take a look at the fighters, give a bit of advice, because obviously we have lots of experience, but I don't want to be involved as a hands-on trainer.
Okay, I tried, everyone. I tried. Mikey's not going to train anyone. Mikey, you're still in great shape, though.
Thank you.
The weigh-ins are about to start in about 10 or 15 minutes. Remember, scan the QR code. You do not want to miss the action tomorrow live on the DAZN pay-per-view. The trilogy we've all been waiting for. Canelo versus GGG. Talking of GGG, I caught up with the unified middleweight champion yesterday. Huge fight this weekend at the T-Mobile Arena. This man, the great Gennadiy Golovkin, the unified middleweight champion, goes up to 168 and takes on Canelo Alvarez. Gennadiy, just before we came in, I said you look really good. Your face, big smile, happy. Is it the 168, those extra pounds, maybe?
You know, I feel very comfortable because, you know, like I'm so excited for fight, you know, to fight, and I feel great.
I've always wondered why you never took the step up to 168 before. You dominated 160 pounds, and I always thought that you were going to go up to 168. Why not?
You know, last 12 years, I still champion 160. You know, just I have a belts right now. I have 3 belts in 160. You know, I don't have chance.
Talk to me about you and Jonathan Banks. You were with Abel Sanchez for so long, so successful. This will be your 5th camp with Jonathan Banks now. The improvements are there. I think people see them. How's it been with Jonathan?
Oh, I can't tell you details, like so many different, you know, so many different, like, you know, style, view, road, you know, like a different school.
The 2 fights with Canelo have been controversial. The first fight, I personally thought you won the first fight, like 100%. I don't know anyone that disagrees. The second fight was very close. Why has it taken so long for a third fight to be made?
You know, I'm ready for a second fight. You know, just I don't know why. Like, you know, everybody wait like 4 years. You know, I remember my first fight, my second fight. You know, right now like we have like trilogy. Trilogy is completely different story. I hope like same like a first and second fight, like a big, nice, beautiful fight.
Your style has always been Mexican style. All you do is attack, attack, attack. Has that style changed a little bit under Jonathan?
I have more experience. Yeah, Jonathan, he showed me more beautiful stuff. You know, I try. I show you this weekend.
A lot's been spoken about your age, right? Everyone now keeps talking that GGG is 40. He's maybe too old now. He's not the GGG of maybe 6-7 years ago. How do you feel at 40?
You know, I feel like a 40 years old. You know, I like my age. You know, I like my experience, my life experience. My, you know, like I like what I have right now. You know, just how I feel right now. I feel very comfortable.
I remember the second fight with you and Canelo. You guys embraced at the end of the fight. There was a nice cuddle between you two. Since then, it's been very, very bitter between you two. Why? Where's that come from?
I don't know. Just, you know, like I know I don't know exactly why, you know, because, you know, like I shake hands, you know, like everything is good. And after again, like, you know, he said like he stays so quiet, you know, like last 4 years and last like, you know, couple months, like he start, like, you know, like look his strategy. I don't know why. Just maybe this promoter, his promotion, like, you know, to fight. Like, I don't know.
Did you watch his fight against Bivol?
Not like all fight, just only, you know, highlights. Yes.
What did you make of his performance?
I'm so sad.
Really?
Yes.
For Canelo?
For Canelo, yeah.
Why?
You know, he's big star from boxing, you know, and he looks so like horrible.
Do you think that, again, a lot of people think that maybe you're not the GGG of 5-6 years ago. Canelo is no longer the same guy, is he, as well?
You know, like he's 32 years old, you know, like probably right now he...
60
like,
plus fights?
Yes, you know, he like top, he's, you know, prepare, you know, like I don't know, just every fight is different, every fighter is different, you know, like sometimes, you know, like you wake up, you have a bad day, you know.
A lot of people, prior to the Bivol fight, a lot of people said that you cannot beat Canelo in Vegas because of the scorecards. The judges will always favor Canelo. Now, with the Bivol win, do you think now that maybe that has changed?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I hope everything's changed because Bivol, he show everybody, you know, like it's possible. It's a possible, you know, decision. Yeah, I know, like Canelo, he doesn't like, you know, like a judge, you know, decision, like, you know, he said, I win, you know, like, come on, guys, like, wake up your eyes, you know.
Do you think you won both of the first two fights?
100%.
100%? The second one, 100%?
Absolutely.
Yeah? And the judges?
You know, judges, you know, like everybody has, like, you know, one judge give me, one judge give him, you know, like a second judge is like, you know, like everybody have different view, different angle, you know, like.
Your knockout record is one of the best in middleweight history, right? It's incredible. In boxing history, 2 fights with Canelo, neither of you guys have touched down. They've been very close. You hurt each other a lot. Do you think you can knock out Canelo?
You know, everything is possible. This is boxing, you know, like, you know, and Canelo and me, like, you know, like next level. Like people sometimes not understand. Said, hey, why you not like knocking down him? Just, hey, come on, guys, you know, like this is the very highest level, you know, like this is because I know him, he knows me, you know, we exactly knows what we're doing, you know, like it's hard.
How many more fights left, GGG? I love watching you fight, by the way. So I want to say at least 5 more years. Yeah. How many fights left?
I have plan for 160. You know, like so many countries. You know, like just we try. Just for my first focus for this fight, and we talk later.
If you win this fight, last couple of questions. If you win this fight, are you staying at 168, or do you go back down to 160, or do you go to 175?
I don't know. You know, like I wanna like tell you like more business side, like, you know, who bring more interesting big name. We got it.
Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. Has been calling you out for a long time in the UK.
Probably he has fight, yeah?
He has fight against Conor Benn.
Yes, exactly, yeah. It's a tough fight. Come on, guys.
It is a tough fight.
Yeah.
Give me a prediction. How does the fight play out on Saturday?
Great fight. Biggest gift for fans.
Mexican style.
Absolutely.
Triple G, good luck.
Thank you,
on
sir.
Saturday. It's going to be a fantastic fight. It always is a good fight between GGG and Canelo. If the first two fights are anything to go on, the third fight is going to be true Mexican style, right? That's what we say, true Mexican style. Golovkin, good luck.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have sunglasses.
You know, every time I look over my shoulder, I'm convinced there's about another 400 to 500 fans that file into the Toshiba Plaza. It's going to be a crazy weigh-in. Musical acts as well incoming. Trust me, we're going to have you covered for the next hour or so. And look, we've grabbed as well 2 of the commentary team members for Saturday night, Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora. Guys, do you ever get used to this? Is it more a case of, oh, I've seen this all before, or does it surprise you that Canelo can keep bringing the numbers out like this?
This actually reminds me of Sergio's last fight.
Here we go. Here we go. It started early. It started early.
Out there. No, you never really get used to it. And no matter what you thought about the fight coming in, when you see this type of crowd gather, you start to make yourself believe it's going to be great. Now, this may have been great anyway, but as you watch this crowd, Canelo fans, Golovkin fans, you start to really believe that these two guys, almost 4 years removed from their last fight, can deliver another classic.
You know what I've seen that's crazy? Unlike any other boxing event, I'm seeing guys wearing Golovkin shirts and Canelo hats. That's almost a respect for both, isn't it?
And I'll tell you why, because Mexicans they'll accept someone that's not Mexican. They accepted Filipino star in Manny Pacquiao for a long time because of his style. They accepted Golovkin. They phrased it Mexican style because they love just, you know, the way he brings the fight. So Mexicans, they've already accepted him as a fellow Mexican. And you can see everyone here in GGG shirts, but they're in the red, green, and white Mexican colors. So yeah, they love it.
Which, to be fair, come fight night, when the introductions are happening, it's going to be 90% Canelo.
Yeah.
It always is in Las Vegas. He draws an incredible crowd. I have no doubt he will on Saturday night.
I've been waiting for GGG to make that trip to 168 forever, right? When he was the king, the monster of 160 pounds, is it too late now to add 8 pounds into your body?
No, it's not, because the older you get, the more that it's going to cost you to dehydrate down to that weight. Triple G is one of the greatest middleweights in the world, but he's been a career-long middleweight. Now that he's going to have those 8 extra pounds, believe me, if 2 pounds is going to be crucial, 8 pounds is going to be a lot. So for an older fighter in his 40 years old, that's going to be big. Not having to dehydrate those last extra pounds, he can add that to strength and muscle and build endurance.
It really is remarkable that Golovkin, who was a 160-pound amateur as well, has been 160 for this long. And I agree with Sergio. I think he can gain something for moving up to 168, especially when it comes to protecting that body. He won't be quite as weight drained. He'll have a little bit more muscle on that frame, a little more water in his system, and that's going to enable him to maybe be a little bit tougher in that midsection.
Sergio,
there's no muscles on the liver, I'll tell you that right now.
But you know what I mean, though? Like,
guys, I knew you guys were going to do this. We got to go to the stage because David Diamante is there with our musical acts.
Yo. Damas y caballeros, buenas tardes y bienvenido a Las Vegas, Nevada, Estados Unidos. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. It's Mexican Independence Week. This is the biggest fight week of the year. And let me tell you, boy, do we have a show for you. And right now, to kick it off, please welcome the Freestyle King, the champion of champions. They're both from Mexico, Jay de la Cueva y Asesino.
Yo, hey, ¿qué pasa? Buenas tardes, ¿cómo están Las Vegas? ¿Cómo está ese apoyo para el Canelo de todos los paisanos? ¿Cómo suena? Estamos presentando en el pesaje y vamos a darle al Canelo un homenaje. Así que quiero que me levanten las manos, todos mis hermanos, el grito de mexicanos, porque ahora tenemos la presencia. Siempre hacemos rap con contundencia, damos grito de dolores porque tenemos esencia. Y viva México porque es día de la independencia. ¿Cómo suena Jay? nuestro compatriota el Canelo. Manos arriba, mis paisanos. Han sido años de entrenamiento, fortalecimiento, preparando alma, mente y cuerpo para buscar alcanzar el 100%. Lo sé y lo siento, ha llegado mi momento. Conozco todos sus movimientos, doy un paso adelante hasta de tu pensamiento. Lo siento, pero solo volverás al viento. Cuando cuenten hasta 10 se te acaba el cuento, dejándolo todo hasta el último aliento, haciendo que el público se pare del asiento. Combinando disciplina y talento, yo hasta ser el mejor de todos los tiempos. Vamos arriba para el Canelo. Cada golpe me hace más fuerte. Cada golpe que yo puedo romperte. Ya no te ves tan valiente. Entiende, las leyendas vivirán por siempre. Vamos al cielo y todos griten Canelo. Vamos al cielo y todos griten Canelo. Vamos al cielo y todos griten Canelo. ¿Cómo? La magia del boxeo, sujetada que golpeo. Quiero a los que sean, soy el rey del coliseo. Tiene las ruedas, no quieren noquear. Y que digan lo que quieran, aquí arriba no los creo. Con los guantes puestos para lo que siga. Pase lo que pase, siempre con la cara arriba. Nos levantamos de cada caída, de los golpes del ring y de la vida. Las cuerdas no quieren noquear. Las cuerdas no quieren noquear. Cada golpe me hace más fuerte. Y cada golpe que yo puede romperte. Frente a frente ya no te ves tan valiente. Entiende, las leyendas vivirán por siempre. Vamos al cielo y todos griten Canelo. Vamos al cielo y todos griten Canelo. Vamos al cielo y todos griten Canelo. ¿Cómo? Manos arriba para el Canelo, cómo no. Mago el asesino, Jay de la Cueva. Muchas gracias y que viva México.
Jay de la Cueva and Asesino. Let's hear it out there, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? I'm never quite sure how I feel about musical acts at weigh-ins. Fan of it, Sergio?
Of what?
Musical acts at weigh-ins?
You know,
You can be honest. You can be honest,
listen,
Sergio.
as a boxer, we really don't care. We want the fans to have a good time. So if the fans enjoy it, they're having a good time, they're dancing, they're celebrating, then appreciate the boxing, I'm all for it. The fighters, we can care less.
I was promised Bruce Springsteen. Didn't happen.
Yeah, well, that's never going to happen. You see the QR code there? Scan it if you want to watch the fight tomorrow. Remember, it's live on DAZN PPV. You do not want to miss this one. You know what I want to do? I want to go back, if we can, to 2017. The first fight between the two. Honest here now. Who won the first fight? How did you score it? If you can remember, it was a long time.
Well, I'll give you my opinion. I watched that fight live, and I thought Canelo did well, but he didn't win the fight, so at best it was a draw. Then I watched it and rewatched it on tape. Golovkin won that fight with that jab, just a power jab, but I watched it on television. Now, in the rematch, I thought it was a different story. Still a close fight. I watched that on television. I thought Canelo...
Here's some of the action we're seeing from the first fight. And look, maybe they've just cut it so we can only see GGG successes. Oh, there you go. An uppercut from Canelo. How did you have it, man?
I had it for Gennadiy Golovkin. It was a close fight, but I thought his aggressiveness and his jab did enough to carry the day. Look, I thought Canelo in that fight ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Came out really fast, and then as you got those middle rounds, you started to tire under the relentless pressure of Golovkin and wound up fighting off his back foot, which you really can't do against Gennadiy Golovkin. So it was close, but I scored it for Golovkin, I believe, 115-113.
Yeah, moving a year later to 2018 when they fought for the second time. That one scored to Canelo. I gave it to Canelo. I thought Canelo done the better work in there. How did you see it, Mo?
The funny thing is, the first fight, Canelo had to close off strong to get a draw. And the second one, Golovkin closed out the championship rounds to get a majority decision. I mean, they're so competitively even. It's incredible. It's just like Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield. They have so much similarities. They throw the same punches. That's why it's so hard to pick between the two and decipher who's being more effective. That's just going to be the case once again unless we get a knockout. And of course, odds are favoring Canelo, but if it's going to be a knockout, the body's going to be the target.
So I scored the second fight for Golovkin as well, but I had no problem with the decision. Whenever you score a close 115, 113, and it goes the other way, there were so many close rounds. You can see the judges seeing something a little bit different than you did. But your takeaway from the second fight was how impressive Canelo was. Throughout the career of Gennadiy Golovkin, no one has pushed him in the way that Canelo pushed him. He kind of unlocked the secret to fighting Golovkin, closing that space between them, forcing Golovkin to fight off his back foot. He was incredibly effective. I was just more impressed by Golovkin's jab, which he threw at a superior rate, than I was with Canelo's speed and power shots.
If the third fight is similar to the first two, where does this rank in terms of trilogies, recent trilogies? I know, we can go back sort of 50, 60 years, but in terms of recent trilogies, where does it rank?
Listen, I'm no historian, but nothing's ever going to top Ali and Frazier, of course. That's going to be at the top of everything. Gotti Ward is maybe number 2. Number 3, Riddick Bowe, Vander Holyfield. There's so many great trilogies. Vasquez and Marquez, Barrera Morales. Great trilogies. Where does this rank? We're going to probably have to wait until tomorrow night, but it's going to be top 5.
Yeah, it's somewhere between Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and Joshua Franco, Jason Maloney. It's somewhere in between that area. It's very good. Probably closer to the Wilder Fury side. Look, it's going to be excellent because, you just don't know what Gennadiy Golovkin has at 40 years old. He has not been as active as Canelo's been in recent years. He has not faced the level of competition that he was facing prior to that. It seems like he has been okay with being a once-a-year fighter and sort of cherry-picking a certain type of fight. Will that have a consequence? Will he not be as sharp as he was in the first 2 fights? We're not going to know until Saturday night.
That's going to be a big one, the activity.
So I hate cutting off Sergio. I'm sorry, Sergio, but David Diamante is waiting for us. We're about to make this thing official. Let's get ready for the weigh-ins.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. For the official weigh-in for our historic night of fights taking place here at the T-Mobile Arena on Saturday night. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing and Canelo Promotions and Triple G Promotions. We are sponsored by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. DraftKings Sportsbook. With action this good, why go anywhere else? O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. MGM Rewards. Fred Loya Insurance. Put Fred Loya in your corner. Valaway and visit Abu Dhabi. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an historic fight card. Like I said, we have 8 fights on the card. 5 of them are title fights. 2 are world titles. And at the top of the bill, it's the rematch. It's the trilogy. 12 rounds for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. And it's all going out live around the world exclusively on DAZN pay-per-view. So at this time, let's go ahead and start the official weigh-in. And let's go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 6 rounds in the super flyweight division, making his way from New Orleans, Louisiana, with a record of 4-3-1. All 4 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Delvin Gator McKinley. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is undefeated in his young career as a professional with a record of 2 fights, no defeats. He has 1 draw, both of his wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of East Los Angeles, California. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Anthony Superman Herrera. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Delvin McKinley. 116, bang on for Gator. 116 pounds for Delvin McKinley. And now to the scale, the young undefeated Superman Anthony Herrera. 114.8 for Anthony Herrera, 114.8 pounds. 6 rounds, super flyweights, Herrera McKinley, Las Vegas, Nevada, Matchroom Boxing, live on DAZN.
Yep. McKinney. Delvin McKinney. That's the first one. Anthony Herrera versus Delvin McKinney. Remember, that's in the super flyweight division. Hackenbrack rejoined me. How must they be feeling? You're opening a Canelo card in front of, I'm going to guess, about 3,000, 4,000 people at the weigh-in. Wow.
I mean, look, this is big for them because there's so many people and they're fighting early in the night, so they might not have that many people in the venue because of their first bout. So this is kind of an event right now for them. It's nerves must be kicking in. But those small weight classes, man, they're starting to pop off.
Yeah, it's two ways to look at it, really. Like, the sweat could be going down to your back, or you could be like, this is my moment to shine.
Right. Maybe this is their moment to shine. Let's go back to David Diamante, who's got our next fighters ready for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest is brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Clase y Talento and Canelo Promotion, scheduled for 6 rounds in the super lightweight division. And now making his way to the stage, his young professional record, absolutely perfect. 8 fights, 8 victories, 3 of them coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Lomas del Paraíso, Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, Fernando Ferroz Molina. And his opponent making his way to the stage, his professional record also a perfect one. 6 fights, 6 victories, 2 of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Hialeah Gardens in Florida. Please welcome Aaron, the Alien King Aponte. And now to the scale, Ferroz, Fernando Molina. 140 pounds, bang on the super lightweight limit for Ferroz, Fernando Molina. And now to the scale, the Alien King, Aaron Aponte. 139.8 pounds for Aaron Aponte. 8 rounds of super lightweights. Six rounds, super lightweights. Aponte versus Molina. 8 rounds at super lightweights. Our next contest, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds in the lightweight division, making his way to the stage at this time. Professional record, 6 victories, 1 defeat. He has 2 draws, 3 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Ciudad de Mexico, Distrito Federal, please welcome Kevin El Conan Montiel Mendoza. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, a perfect one. 7 fights, 7 victories, 5 of them coming by way of knockout. fighting out of Fresno, California. Here is the 17-time amateur national champion, the 2-time amateur world champion, Mark Castro. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Montiel Mendoza. 135.2 for Mendoza. 135.2 pounds for Mendoza. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated Mark Castro. 134.4 for Mark Castro. 134.4. Castro versus Mendoza, 8 rounds, lightweights, Matchroom Boxing, Las Vegas, Nevada, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues. Right now, we've got a 10-round contest for the vacant WBC USNBC Silver Super Middleweight Championship. Making his way to the stage at this time, professional record, 16 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 11 wins, coming by way of knockout. De San Juan, Puerto Rico, Enrique Kikín Collazo. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his professional record, a perfect one. 15 fights, 15 victories, 12 of those 15 wins coming by way of chloroformo. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of South Central Los Angeles, California, here is the former 8-time amateur national champion, the hard-hitting and the undefeated Diego Pacheco. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Enrique Kikín Collazo. $167.8 for Enrique Collazo. 167.8. Now to the scale, the young undefeated Diego Pacheco. 167 pounds, bang on for Diego Pacheco. 167 for the undefeated Diego Pacheco.
You're listening to the Plate Rivalry.
Pacheco versus Collazo, 10 rounds for the vacant WBC USNBC Silver Super Middleweight Championship. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN pay-per-view from Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 10 rounds for the vacant WBA International Middleweight Championship. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 18 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw. He has 4 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Northampton, England. Please welcome the former WBA Intercontinental Super Welterweight Champion, Kieran Two-Class Conway. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record absolutely perfect. 11 fights, 11 victories, 9 of his 11 wins coming by way of knockout. He represents H-Town, Houston, Texas. Here is the undefeated Southpaw. He's the former WBA Continental America's middleweight champion, Austin Ammo Williams. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Kieran Two-Class Conway. $159.2 pounds for Kieran Two-Class Conway. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated Austin Ammo Williams. 160, bang on. The middleweight limit for 160 pounds for Austin Ammo Williams, 160 pounds. Austin Williams, Kieran Conway, 10 rounds for the vacant WBA International Middleweight Championship. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN Pay-Per-View from Las Vegas, Nevada, USA.
Here with Austin Ammo Williams and Prince Ziggy right after the weigh-in here, fighting for his 2nd straight title as a pro, regional belt here. You said you do not fight for points, my friend. What will you be fighting for tomorrow night?
I fight for explosion. Y'all gonna see something explosive. Y'all gonna love what y'all see. I see everybody out here for Canelo Alvarez, and I love it. But by the time y'all leave, y'all gonna be chanting Ammo Williams, because I'm gonna give y'all a real show.
This is a world stage for you. Probably for the first time, a platform of this magnitude. What are you hoping that show entails?
Man, I just hope that I give y'all the show that y'all paid for. I just hope that y'all happy when y'all leave and y'all excited and y'all got an experience that y'all never forget. This is for y'all. What I'm about to do on September 17th is for y'all. I love the people.
Austin, you made promises before. You backed them up. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official weigh-in continues. Our next contest is brought to you by Matchroom Boxing in association with Triple G Promotions, as they're proud to present 10 rounds of boxing for the vacant IBF North American and vacant WBC Silver Super Middleweight Championship. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 26 victories, 15 defeats, 1 draw, with 15 big wins coming by way of knockout. He originally fights out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and now lives, fights, and trains out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Here is the former WBA Continental Americas and WBO International Silver Super Middleweight Champion, the exciting and the courageous King Gabriel Rosado. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, 18 victories, 1 lone defeat. He has 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Almaty, Kazakhstan, here is the former WBC International Silver Super Middleweight Champion, Ali Akhmedov. Akhmedov. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, King Gabriel Rosado. 167.6 for King Gabe Rosado. 167.6. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Ali Akhmedov. 167.8 pounds for Ali Akhmedov. Akhmedov versus Rosado, 10 rounds for the vacant IBF North American and the vacant WBC Silver Super Middleweight Championship. Matchroom Boxing in association with Triple G Promotions, live on DAZN Pay-Per-View.
With Gabe Rosado. And Gabe, we come to you, Baron Gibbs, my friend. This is from the Ring Magazine, recognizing your knockout of the year in 2021.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. Great fight. I plan on doing it again.
You called this the card of the year yesterday.
Yeah.
How would you describe the scene in front of you here?
Oh, this is great. I'm Boricua, but Viva Mexico!
You have been in the ring with many great fighters before. What are you hoping to remind everyone of your skills tomorrow night?
Just know that when Gabriel Rosado's in the ring, I'm giving it all. I'm giving my heart, sweat, tears, everything. We're leaving it all in the ring, and we're confident to be victorious.
Your final message for Ali Akhmedov?
You know, just good luck, man. Let's get it on.
No gamesmanship, sportsmanship. Gabe Rosado, good luck to you, my man. Back up to you in the studio.
Ali Akhmedov almost looks like a cross between Ivan Drago, and Melo Kuziev, who Rosado knocked out, though, a couple of years ago. Tough ass for Rosado, this one, but we know he's got the power and the experience to get it done.
Yeah, we talked to Rosado yesterday, and I think the key is to use that Philly-style boxing ability that he has and stay away from banging, which he resorts to all the time when he gets hit with a clean shot. That's key in this fight. That's key.
That's key in the fight indeed. Let's go back down to David Diamante for a co-main event weigh-in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the co-main event of the evening for Saturday night's historic night of boxing here at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. As Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, in association with Tekken Promotions and Box Stars, are proud to present 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Flyweight Championship of the World. And now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. His professional record, 28 victories, 4 defeats. He has 1 draw with 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former WBC Fikumbak Super Flyweight interim champion. Saturday night, he makes his 4th attempt at a world title, presentando de Los Cabos, Baja California Sur, Mexico, Israel, Higa Gonzalez. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is the defending world champion. His professional record, absolutely perfect. 16 fights, 16 victories, 11 of them coming by way of knockout. Saturday night, he makes his 2nd defense of his world title. Fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, USA. Please welcome boxing's youngest active world champion. Here is the reigning, the defending, the undefeated WBC Super Flyweight Champion of the World, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the challenger, Higa Israel Gonzalez. $114.6 for the challenger, Israel Gonzalez, 114.6 pounds. And now to the scale, the defending world champion, 114.8 for the southpaw defending undefeated world champion, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 114.8 pounds. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, Israel Gonzalez, 12 rounds for the WBC Super Flyweight Championship of the World. The chief support here Saturday night, live on DAZN Pay-Per-View. Jesse, your first 2 fights in 2022, stare downs, they went a little bit smoother than that, than what we just saw right then and there. What did you see from Israel Gonzalez? What was your message to him?
I mean, you can stare all you want, but come Saturday night, he's going to see that I'm something special.
You took down 2 of the 4 kings, as you put it, at 115 pounds this year. You're co-headlining Canelo Triple G. I know boxing fans know you. They have an understanding of what Jesse Bam Rodriguez is all about. What is the world going to find out about Jesse Bam Rodriguez tomorrow?
Tomorrow night, the world's going to see Bam Rodriguez is something special. He's a once-in-a-generation kind of fighter, and they're going to see a performance that they can't forget.
You've stopped 7 of your last 8 opponents. You doing it again tomorrow?
Of course. It's not going 12 rounds.
Jesse Bam Rodriguez making his 2nd title defense tomorrow night.
He's a star, isn't he? He's a star already. 2 fights this year. This will be his 3rd one against Israel Gonzalez. Not going to be easy. But I told him, I spoke to him yesterday. I said, look, you're already my fighter of the year. The only person that could maybe take that title was Bivol. if Bivol beat Zerdo. Remember that live on DAZN as well. What do you make of Jesse Bam Rodriguez?
The thing about him, you have to be a special type of fighter to not be so outspoken, so outgoing, loud, braggadocious, and still attract the fans like that. You got to be special in that ring, and that's what he is. I mean, skill, knockout, grit, he has it all. Superstar.
And Israel is a tough enough opponent. And when you think about it, his last 3 opponents fought the top guys.
Yeah.
Fought Roman Gonzalez. Yeah. So this is another test to show you if he's ready for Roman Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's some run, isn't it? Quadras, Rungvisai, Gonzalez. That's a run. Yeah, that's a run. Especially when you're coming up to a weight class this is unnatural for you. Let's not forget, he's moving up to 115. He wasn't a 115 guy.
What's so impressive about him is how low he is. And Robert Garcia told us that he wants his brother to shine more than he wants to shine. So he said if his brother Franco wants the winner of Estrada and Ramon Gonzalez, he'll go back down and wait and leave that path open for him. Even though people want to see him against Chocolatito, he's like, no, let my brother get that shot.
All right, that's the co-main. The main event weigh-in is about to start very, very soon. I can't wait for this one. I can't wait for the noise that these thousands of fans are going to create. What do you make of this one? Canelo versus Triple G. I never thought it was going to happen. I thought the trilogy was done. We're now, nearly 24 hours away from it. What do you make of it?
Look, as I was talking earlier, right, you know, we give credit to AJ recently because of the amount of pressure he had since the Olympics, since winning a gold medal and the pressure of the country. Canelo, since 21, fighting Mosley on a Floyd Mayweather Cotto card, he's had to fight on an elite level every single year. That's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And still, has that pressure and has been able to carry it. Give this man flowers now. He's carrying pressure. He's the LeBron James of boxing, and he's doing it at a high level every time.
All right, I got to say, except Yildirim, because these fans always say something like that. You can't say nothing without them negating
and Rocky Fielding. And Rocky Fielding.
But listen.
But Rocky Fielding was at 168 for the first time.
And a big
so
one.
I gave him a pass.
And a big one.
I gave him a pass for that one.
And let's be real. I mean, when you talk about LeBron and these guys, they play for a season and then they take a break. Look at this crowd right here,
Look
man.
at the shots.
Look, he has to please all of these people out here.
There's only been one other crowd that's been like this, and that was Floyd Mayweather. But guess what? That was Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez.
Exactly.
This is a weigh-in. And the way these fans ran in, and by the way, it's like 40 degrees out there. I mean, it is hot as well.
In here, 98
No, we're
degrees.
talking about Fahrenheit over here. It's almost 100 degrees out
Brit is in the building.
Patty, what did I tell you off camera? Hey, this is like double the amount of people that was here for Canelo Bivol. And for those folks that were saying, oh, I don't know if I want to see a trilogy with Triple G, come on. Everybody wants to see that fight.
Listen, there's more people here at the weigh-in than there are at some big fighters' fights.
At a lot.
Would it have been as big if Canelo had beaten Bivol? Is there something a bit more to it because Canelo's coming off a loss and people may be questioning Canelo a bit as well?
No, that's a
good point. Because look, understand something. If he would have beat Bivol, then they would have dismissed Triple G. Like, why even fight
beating
Triple G
an
at 40
unbeaten 175 champion and then fighting a guy from 160?
Newsflash, those folks that are out there would have been out here had he beaten Bivol. They would have been more excited for Canelo's reign.
But it's free to be out there. You know, it's free to see this guy right here coming in here, Triple G, who's walking towards the stage now. But it's not free to pay for the pay-per-view. Would it have been the same? I don't think so. I think now the intrigue is there.
How about
you just lost? You might lose to this guy right here. Look at him.
How about
He's
the comfort
confident. Look
level?
at him.
The comfort level that Triple G has had. You chopped it up with him, Ade. I mean, he's relaxed. He's not upset like Canelo. He's not tense. He's ready to show the world that, hey, I'm still the guy.
I'm surprised by how relaxed it is. And I do wonder, there's two things to look at this. A, super confident, had a great training camp with Jonathan Bakes, or it's a guy that he knows is coming to the end. And these are big events that you want to be part of. I don't know.
I don't think Triple G thinks like that. I do understand that he's thinking that this is the end, but I also think he said, I won the first 2 fights. This is just going to be my 3rd victory.
Oh, and let's not forget, all of Canelo's belts are on the line here. So Gennadiy has an opportunity to be undisputed at 168. Wow. He's defending all of those crowns. We haven't talked about that all week. That is very important. He's always worried about legacy and belts. He has the opportunity to get all of them.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are ready. You've all been waiting for this one. Let's see how both of these warriors, these kings, look on the scales. Let's cross down to David Diamante for the official weigh-in for Canelo versus GGG III.
Damas y caballeros, buenas tardes y bienvenidos a Las Vegas, Nevada, Estados Unidos, para pasaje oficial del gran evento el sábado en la noche. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, where tomorrow night, Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing and Canelo Promotions and Triple G Promotions are proud to present the trilogy. It's Canelo Triple G III. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. DraftKings, with action this good, why go anywhere else? O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. MGM Rewards, Fred Loya Insurance. With Fred Loya in your corner, put Fred Loya in your corner, that away, and visit Abu Dhabi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the fighters and bring them out for the main event. It's the trilogy, Canelo versus Triple G III. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 42 victories, 1 defeat, 1 draw, with 37 wins coming by way of knockout. Saturday night, he appears in his 26th world title fight as he looks to avenge his 1 lone defeat. He holds the highest knockout ratio in middleweight championship boxing history and proudly fights out of his home of Karaganda, Kazakhstan. Here is a 2004 Olympic silver medalist and the reigning and the unified middleweight champion of the world, Gennadiy Golovkin, Triple G. Triple G. And his opponent, now making his way to the ring, he's accompanied by Beto Sierra and C-Con. Ladies and gentlemen, his professional record, 57 victories, 2 defeats, 2 draws, with 39 wins coming by way of knockout. Saturday night, he'll be appearing in his 23rd world title fight. Here is the 4-division world champion, the 3-division unified champion, the 2-division lineal champion, and the first ever and only undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, peleando fuera de la tierra del tequila y los mariachis, Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, presentando el orgullo del pueblo mexicano, Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
Es Beto Sierra y el C-Can. Y arriba Guadalajara, Saúl Canelo.
Saúl es disciplina, es carácter y dedicación. El orgullo de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México. Pasará mucho tiempo para que el mundo del boxeo pueda ver un peleador como el Canelo. Los números hablan por sí solos. El mejor libra por libra del mundo.
Se siente fuego porque ya llegó el campeón. Toda la gente grita, ¡viva México, cabrón! Tenga listo un pile todo el mundo. El Reynoso, el mejor entrenador. Desde el chamaco mueve con toda la zona. Calibre grueso, lo que es un puño de mona. A los rivales los va dejando en la lona. A puros puños se ha ganado la corona. Aquí no hay miedo, mamá. Aquí no hay miedo, mamá. No hay oponente en el boxeo que Saúl no rompa. Aquí no hay miedo, mamá. Aquí tirar party. Baila caballo más fino que su Ferrari. Manos arriba porque ya llegó el campeón. A defender y ganar otro cinturón. Porque yo te lo voy en el corazón. Canelo, 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 Canelo. Es un guerrero que sangre de ganador. Con hechos de que el silencio es más hablador. Todos de pie porque mando mensajes. Canelo, Canelo.
Nací para tirar chingadazos, estoy hecho para la guerra. Peleo con mi orgullo por mi gente y por mi tierra. Ya les cerré la boca a todos los que no creyeron y mandé para la lona a los que me subestimaron. Soy el orgullo de la tierra que me vio crecer. Otro Canelo bajo este cielo no van a ser. Los que me cantaron peleonero desde niño nada me lo regalaron. Me lo gané con los puños Canelo que canta un gallo. Los fracturo, los retiro. A los más bravos del mundo me les he pegado un tiro. De 4 divisiones yo me gané el cinturón. Una cosa es hablar, la otra es ser el más chingón. Aquí no hay miedo, compa, soy cero miedo, compa. La feria no me falta, pero el valor no se compra. Aquí no hay miedo, compa, soy cero miedo, compa. Mejor cierre la boca antes de que se la rompa.
A defender y ganar otro cinturón. Porque yo te lo voy en el corazón. Canelo, 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 Canelo. Es un guerrero que sangre de ganador. Con hechos de que el silencio es más salvador. Todos de pie porque mando mensajes.
Cuando yo nací, ya se había repartido el miedo.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
¡Arriba México, arriba Guadalajara!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, fighters to the scale. Making his way at this time, please welcome Gennadiy Golovkin, Triple G. 167.8 for Triple G, 167.8 pounds for Gennadiy Golovkin. And now to the scale, the reigning, defending, and undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez. 167.4, 167.4 pounds for Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Yo sé bien que estoy afuera, pero el día que yo me muera, sé que tendrás que llorar. Llorar y llorar, llorar y llorar. Dirás que no me quisiste, pero vas a estar muy triste y así te vas a quedar. Con dinero y sin dinero, hago siempre lo que quiero y mi palabra es la ley. No tengo trono ni reina, ni nadie que me comprenda, pero sigo siendo el rey.
Saul Canelo Alvarez, Gennadiy Golovkin, 12 rounds for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. Live on DAZN Pay-Per-View, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. It's the trilogy. Canelo, Triple G III, Natural Boxing, Canelo Promotions, and Triple G Promotions live on DAZN Pay-Per-View.
All right, Gennadiy, you and Canelo Alvarez have faced off and stared down at one another multiple times in recent months. What did you see in his eyes for the final time this afternoon?
You know, guys, not new. Like same like every time.
He has said multiple times he is looking to stop this fight early. What is your response 24 hours ahead of fight night?
No comments.
With that, what is your final message to these fans here in Las Vegas?
No, today is biggest day. Like last night is biggest day for all Mexican people. Very independent Mexican day. Congratulations, guys. You know, like a biggest day for country. Congrats, guys. You know, I want to tell not just only my people, all boxing fans. Come on, guys. If you're really boxing fan, you know who is the real champion. No questions.
Thank you, Gennadiy. The final words from Gennadiy Golovkin here on stage, and we'll talk to Canelo Alvarez in a matter of moments. Let's go over there right now. Canelo, just talking to Gennadiy, he said nothing is new in terms of what he sees in your eyes after multiple stare downs over the course of the summer and here in fight week. What did you see in Gennadiy's eyes this final stare down?
No, quizás en mis ojos no tiene que ver nada nuevo. No espero que vea nada nuevo en mis ojos. Lo que tiene que ver nuevo lo va a ver mañana.
We have Kieran Simpson here translating.
So perhaps that he saw nothing new in my eyes, but what he will see new and what he needs to see is what happens tomorrow.
I asked him for a response to the countless comments you've made about wanting to stop this fight early. He said, no comment. How badly do you want to inflict pain on Gennadiy Golovkin and make him remember tomorrow night?
No es lo que quiero. Al final de cuentas sé que tengo un gran peleador, que no va a ser fácil, pero al final del día es lo que quiero. Quiero terminar esta pelea antes de los 12 asaltos y desde el primer asalto voy a buscar hacerlo.
That's what I want, you know. But I know it's not going to be easy as a great fighter. I want to finish it within 12 rounds, and I'll be looking at from the very first round that I go into it.
This scene never gets old. They come out here for you on stage outside T-Mobile Arena, Mexican Independence Day week here. What is your final message to the fans that have turned out here for the weigh-in today?
Gracias a todos por estar aquí. Los aprecio mucho. Espero que disfruten mañana una gran pelea y que viva México, cabrones!
Canelo, good luck to you. Let's end it back upstairs for some very special guests.
Stand by.
Oh, look, we're in Las Vegas, but Brooklyn is in the house heavy today. That's right. Sitting here with former middleweight champion of the world, Daniel Jacobs, and the First Lady of Boxing, Rosie Perez. Welcome. I mean, what is the vibe feeling like right now? Look, you've been in there with both guys. Tell me what is going through Triple G's mind fighting against a guy that has this many people supporting him?
Well, to me, for Triple G, it's not his first rodeo. He's experienced this type of atmosphere with majority of the crowd rooting for Canelo. He's not a guy that is inexperienced in this field.
Right.
I just think that the age factor is going to be the difference in this fight, and I'm interested to see what all he has left in the tank.
Who will you be rooting for, though, in this fight?
I'm rooting for a good fight, and so I'm hoping that the fans actually is the winner of this one. And so
we already know who Rosie's rooting for. She's a Triple G girl.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. That was a very diplomatic
Give us a raw
answer. You know, I'm really rooting for Triple G. I've been a fan from day one. I am a fan of Canelo, but I got to stick with my first guy, Triple G. And I think that I agree with Danny, and I also think that a big factor would be the damage that Triple G has taken to his body over the years. Canelo is much less damaged, and I think that's going to be a factor combined with the age.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of people felt that Triple G won the first one. I'm pretty sure you do. But I want to talk about that second fight. You know, some people say it was close. Were you okay with the decision Canelo getting the second fight?
No, I thought that it should have been a draw. I know, and I saw the numbers. I know the numbers say that Canelo did win, but I just really thought that what Triple G brought to the second fight, it should have been a draw. I did not think that Triple G won the second fight, but I wanted a draw.
He backed up most of the fight, and Canelo pressed that fight and landed a lot of power shots, but Triple G did land a lot of jabs in the second fight.
I mean, look, let's face it. Canelo was able just to simply adjust in that second fight that they had.
Yeah.
He was able to see Canelo's, Golovkin's flaws, pressure him, push him back, do things that we really haven't seen Triple G been through in a very long time, probably since he last fought me. But nonetheless, it was still great showing for Canelo. So if he can add that same mentality, that pressure, and that power and skill, it'll be an interesting fight.
Okay, so listen, I don't want to skip the fact that this is a New York set right here.
That's right. Remind them.
So listen, pop quiz right now. If I say, if Brooklyn's in the house, what do you say?
Without a doubt.
I'm gonna rock with that.
I was thinking that. But listen, seriously, I want to ask you about power. People, when there's a common opponent, I always ask, like, who hits harder, Triple G, Canelo?
Ooh. You know, it's really hard because both guys specialize in power and skill. I just think that Golovkin had just a little bit more oomph in his punches. Even his jab at some point felt like it was a right hand.
Damn.
Where Canelo had to put a little bit more emphasis.
Right.
And sometimes Canelo has to sit and plant in order to throw those power shots. So where Golovkin can move on the fly and sometimes have power shots, overhand rights, he's really good at the things that he does, ultimately setting up those power shots.
So who do you think is the smarter fighter? I'm sorry, because I scored it 8 rounds to you, when you fought Gennadiy Golovkin. Who do you think is the smarter fighter?
The smarter fighter, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, both guys knows how to adjust. I think this last fight with Canelo showing the best adjustments, if he can do the same thing, I think he'll have the same results with a guy who won't say past his prime, but probably touching there.
Come on, Rosie, how are you going to go against a guy like that? Look at all that.
Look at the love he's showing
to his daughters. I mean, such a great father.
I want Triple G to win, but I do honestly think that Canelo's going to take it. And I also think that what's another interesting factor in this fight is that Canelo's coming off a loss.
Right.
And his mind has to be right for that, And also, Triple G's coming off of hurt. He's been hurt for a long, long time because he never really got over that, first fight decision,
Good point.
So I ask you this, though, Rosie. Triple G is 40 years old. We know he's still competitive. We all saw what he did in Japan against Murata. I thought he looked like typical Triple G. But if he should lose this fight, is it okay to say Triple G accomplished enough and he should walk away from the sport?
I would not be mad at Triple G if he walked away. If this was his swan song, I would not be mad.
What if he won? Should he still hang it up on top?
I think that would be genius.
That's the best way to go out.
That's the best way to go out.
Absolutely. But does he get to go into the International Hall of Fame?
Well, absolutely. I think he's already, made his spot solidified to where Canelo is in there. Triple G is right behind him.
Right.
So I feel like whoever retires first, which obviously probably going to be Triple G, will have that top.
I mean, look, as big as a Canelo, as big of a star he is, he still stops to the fans. He shows love. He takes pictures. He signs autographs. I mean, sometimes it takes him a half hour to get out of the arena because he shows that much love. That's why these people are here. Yeah. That's why this place is packed.
Well, in my business, if you don't cater to your fans, the fans will not cater to you.
Amen.
So it is very important to appreciate the people that appreciate you, that come out and pay big money to come see you each and every time.
I mean, you've been there, Danny. I mean, how does that feel? Going to Brooklyn to the Barclays Centers, people stopping, hey, Danny, the Miracle Man, taking pictures. Does that never bothers you? I can't assume.
It never bothers me. I think being a fighter, we fight for so many different things. And to have the support of the fans who understand we put our lives on the line each and every time we step foot in that ring, to be able to say, hey, we appreciate you. Hey, what you do is not taken for granted. And, it's a chip on our shoulder to keep us going.
Well, speaking of you getting in the ring and stuff, when's the next time we're going to see the Miracle Man back in the ring?
Very, very, very soon. So I have some things that I can't really reveal quite yet, but we're working on some things. I'm looking forward to ending this year with a big bang and hopefully going into 2023 with some good ideas.
Okay, we need final predictions from both of you. Rosie, I'll start with you. Prediction, how does it play out?
I think it's going to go to the distance, and if so, Canelo will get the decision.
Danny?
I got to agree with my fellow Brooklynite. I think it's going to go to decision. I think it's going to be more of Canelo doing once more what he did the last fight, but I don't think he's going to get the stoppage. I do think it's going to be a unanimous decision.
All right, okay. Triple G, Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G, less than 24 hours away. But guess what? You don't have to wait 24 hours to order the fight. Scan that QR code, order the fight, get ready for tomorrow so you can relax and enjoy the show. You can only watch this on DAZN Pay-Per-View.
Very few fights can be called super fights. This is one of them. Both men are firing what they've got.
This is a draw. There has to be a rematch. And new there's a score to settle.
There's real bad blood here.
Everybody wants to fight, right? He took a lot of shit.
I don't want talking with him. I want to fight.
We couldn't really end the show without speaking to this man. The man that put all this together. Every time I see Eddie Hearn at these big events, whether it be Saudi Arabia, O2 Arena, Headingley Stadium, I'm like, this is crazy. This has topped everything. This is
this is on another level. I think this is the biggest fight, certainly of the year, maybe we've ever done. I mean, thousands and thousands of people here, Mexican Independence Weekend. This is going to be an absolute all-out war. Gennadiy Golovkin, in his eyes, stone cold, ripped to shreds, 168 pounds, looks so good. The last couple of fights, you just see the cheekbones a little bit more at 160. I'm telling you, this guy is ready for battle. And Canelo, you saw the shadow boxing after that. He's ready to explode.
Yeah.
This is going to be epic tomorrow night.
It really is going to be special. That extra 8 pounds for GGG, like you say as well, he looks almost refreshed.
Yeah.
Like, it was killing him before, wasn't it?
It's like 15, 16 years making championship weight at 160 pounds. And you saw that against Murata. Don't forget, he'd been out for 600 days against Murata. He had a couple of slow rounds, and then he battered the champion in his backyard, But at 168, don't forget, this guy's boxed Canelo Alvarez over 24 rounds. It's not like we're watching a fight where we're going, oh, I wonder if this guy's good enough to compete with him. A lot of people felt like he won the first fight.
Yep.
The second fight was razor thin as well. This is going to be the same kind of fight. And Canelo Alvarez, from the first bell, is going to be trying to knock Gennadiy Golovkin out. He may be reckless, he may be emotional, and if he is, Gennadiy Golovkin's going to be right in front of him, unloading his artillery at Canelo Alvarez as well. But honestly, like back and forth, this is going to be absolutely brutal tomorrow night.
It's
brutal.
I think it's going to be like round 25. That's what we should say. It's round 25 as a side to round at number 1. Talk to me about the fans. I mean, this is, I think, nearly double the amount that came out for Bivol.
Yeah, well, it's twice the bigger fight. Yeah, of course, it's the biggest fight. Some people can say, oh, it's 3-4 years later than we wanted. At the end of the day, mate, these are two generational greats, like two icons of the sport, who in years to come will be remembered as Hall of Famers, greats of boxing. But it's the greatest rivalry in boxing, and any rivalry we've seen over the last, 5, 10, 15 years, like going back to Barrera, days, and I think against Morales, and this is going to be, and these guys, they're ultimate competitors. Over the last couple of days, I've just noticed, the head-to-heads are still steely, but it's like they're thinking
there's a little bit of respect as well.
We're about, but you know why? Because they know what they're about to have to go through tomorrow night. They're going to go to horrible places, and for everyone that doesn't understand boxing or doesn't respect boxing, respect that these two have been preparing themselves for a battle for the last 3 or 4 months, and tomorrow night they will go to places that me, you at home could never even dream of going to. The most horrible, darkest, deepest places where the shots are coming in around the side of the head, the ribs are getting busted up, you can't breathe when you go back to the corner, but it's heart, determination, will to win, the champion inside them that will keep going and give us, all of us on DAZN, the most incredible entertainment. We're so lucky to be involved in this sport, and this is the absolute pinnacle of it, and I'm so proud as a little family business from Romford that we're here having it off. I don't know how we did it, Addy, but we're here, baby.
We started from the snooker, now we're here. That's what they say, right? If it is what we expect it to be, and I think it will be, could we get a fourth? I mean, could we really?
I mean, I think we only listen, we get a fourth if Gennadiy Golovkin wins. It's not contracted, by the way, but the public are going to. But the thing is with this fight, it doesn't matter. You could do it 7, 8, 9 times. I mean, but a draw and 2 Canelo Alvarez victories, you're kind of done. But it's the closeness of the fights, and it will be a close fight tomorrow night. There is no way this fight will be one-sided. No way. People talk about Canelo Alvarez stopping Gennadiy Golovkin. He might. But on what basis?
Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez
Never
and
been down.
Gennadiy Golovkin have the most granite chins. You just saw a couple of little feints to the body and you know, winces when Murata was battering that body in Japan. But again, it was at 160. And I don't think he could have mentally prepared himself for that fight the way he's prepared himself for this. On the stage, you know, he had to wait 4 or 5 minutes for Canelo Alvarez to come there.
That annoyed him.
Yeah, but still cool.
Yeah.
And he just goes, I understand. You know, and you saw his little line at the end. You know who the champion is.
I love that.
It's still burning inside him, and he'll take that fire with him tomorrow night at the T-Mobile.
Look, that's the main event, and it's difficult to look past the main event, but the co-main event as well. We're looking for new superstars in boxing. We've got one in Jesse Bam.
Honestly, the whole card, top to bottom. I mean, not only is this the biggest Canelo fight we've ever done, it's the best card with it. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, for me, I think he's going to be fighter of the year. Israel Gonzalez, who pushed Chocolatito all the way, arguably beat Cal Yafai in Monaco for the world title as well. This is a brilliant fight. I think Jesse Rodriguez may already be pound for pound one of the top fighters in the sport. Ali Akhmedov against Gabe Rosado. It is an absolute all-out war. All-out war. And what about Kieran Conway against Amo Williams, Diego Pacheco against Collazo, even going back earlier in the night, you know, you've got a Ponte against Eddie Reynoso's charge, Fernando Molina. You know, you've got Mark Castro in a great fight. I mean, it's just absolutely...
I love when you do this. I love when you reel off the card.
It's like when you build a card, sometimes you get it right from top to bottom, and tomorrow night is the perfect example. Like, not only have you got the biggest fight in boxing, but you've got a card that I know that fight fans can tune in on DAZN or be in the arena, early doors, and just watch an unbelievable night of entertainment.
We talk about Canelo, we talk about GGG, two of the biggest stars in boxing. AJ, one of the biggest stars in boxing as well. I couldn't let you go without asking you, what's going on with AJ Fury? People are asking me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we received the contract last night, which we're now reviewing and going back. There's a lot to be added into that contract, but at least we got one. It's early days. Yeah. We're up for that fight. We've made it clear. If everybody's serious, you'll see that fight.
This year?
Yeah, absolutely this year. And you know, that's the only choice we had, really. You know, they want to get AJ when he's weak. They want to feel like this is a great time to fight him. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. And we'll see, but working towards it. AJ will be out in December, whatever happens. And we'd hope it's Tyson Fury, but we'll have to see.
Can we quickly talk as well, before I let you go, about Eubank Ben, the face-off, nearly doing 1 million views.
Unbelievable. Just on Matchroom Boxing. I mean, that's not including DAZN and other platforms as well. You've done a great job, but what characters these two are. And
How's good for Eubank?
But they blend so well, don't they? Like, Conor Ben is just non-stop all action. And the aggressiveness of Conor Ben just allows Eubank to sit back, almost like his dad, you know, and just contemplate life, you know. And only, 3 weeks to go now. Absolute war coming at October the 8th at the O2. We'll talk about the size of this fight. Honestly, the numbers I'm seeing for Eubank Ben, that's probably the biggest British fight we've ever done. Well, it's unbelievable, and I can't wait.
Yeah, we can't wait. We can't wait for tomorrow night. It really is. This is action you don't want to miss. Eddie Hearn has sold it for you. We've tried to sell it for you as well. Make sure you scan the QR code. There are trilogies, and then there are Canelo GGG trilogies. You don't want to miss it. Scan the QR code for the action. Remember, it is live on DAZN pay-per-view tomorrow.
Very few fights can be called super fights. This is one of them. Both men are firing what they've got.
This is a draw. There has to be a rematch. And new there's a score to settle.
There's real bad blood here.
Everybody wants to fight, right? He took a lot of shit.
I don't want talking with him. I want to fight.
Vegas as we welcome our US viewers in for our Hennessy preview show. Gennadiy Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez have weighed in. It is now, people, official. We are going to see one of the best trilogies we've ever seen in boxing. We've had some big ones, but trust me, GGG versus Canelo might just be the biggest.
September 17th, two of the greatest fighters in the last 20 years will finish their epic trilogy. This time, all 4 belts on the line at 168 pounds. Round number 25 will begin on that Saturday night. We're looking back at the first time they met here, Darren. This is about 4.5 years or so ago now. Canelo and Golovkin, there's so much anticipation around this fight. And really, they met their equal match in each other, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. So well matched. Two huge punchers and two dominant forces in and around this division. But the first thing I noticed, and most people did notice, as soon as the bell goes, Canelo, he says out character, but you see instantly giving up ground. And for somebody like Triple G, who loves to be on the front foot, he's super aggressive, powerful, and generates so much power when he's coming forward, he's able to do whatever he pleases. And look, though Canelo's a very good mover, straight away, if you're Golovkin, you'll be encouraged by this.
Yeah, and he's reacting to feints early there, isn't he, Canelo? Every time Golovkin drops the shoulders, just changes his height, you see the Mexican just dipping, slipping, trying to anticipate what's coming at him, and clearly respectful of the reputation that Golovkin had going into this fight.
I was just about to say, I can understand why he's done that. Huge reputation as one of the biggest punchers of all time in boxing, and you can see Canelo here, he's wary, doesn't want to get caught cold early on. And it's the way that he adjusts that was impressive. If we can move forward to the third round.
This is the beginning of round 3, and he is again on the outside of the ring. He starts to grow into this round, doesn't he?
So you see, he navigates himself to centre ring and thinks himself, hold on, I'm going to stand here for a little while. He's a tremendous counter. He's very good at the back foot, more effective on the front foot. You can see here, I'm pretty sure the corner of Canelo Alvarez would have been standing to the left. He needs to hold the centre ring a little bit more, don't give up too much ground. See it in this third round. Don't get me wrong, they're both missing here, but it shows how Canelo that he's not going to be brilliant at this back.
They're both hyper-intelligent fighters and often cancelled each other out in these exchanges, both throwing, slipping, missing each other, going back for more. And it really was a battle of wills as the fight progressed. Golovkin's a kind of fighter, he progresses up through his combinations as the fight goes on. You see him just using the jab the first couple of rounds, and then you see the 1-2s coming in. So we're now into round 5, and again, just Canelo getting backed up, just counters the uppercut with the left foot there. Golovkin again just wants to manoeuvre and back into those ropes, because traditionally, like I said, that's where he's hurt people when they're in this position here.
Absolutely, and you can see there, Canelo's so good at riding shots, he's spinning off and trying to head this. And that phase in there, I don't think we can just go back quickly. He just gets a bit complacent, he's lazy with the front hand, and he pivots off. Golovkin goes wide with the right hand,
slides to the left,
slides onto the shot, moves into it, and he has to be careful. And we're going to talk about this in one of the later rounds, and I feel Golovkin should target the body more when he has Canelo backed onto the ropes, because he misses an awful lot when he's targeting the head. The movement is so good. You can see Canelo there, and when he's backed on the rope, he'll always try and fire back to get himself out of trouble. You see him in a minute, he fires back with 3-4 shots just to gain some ground, get off of the rope.
And he knows Golovkin tends to react by shifting backwards quickly when you put together. As I mentioned, now he's just comfortable trying to ride the shot, taking on the grab, and then he comes back quickly and pushes Golovkin back to the center.
I don't think he gets enough credit for his footwork. Very smart.
Again, the question will be now, 40 years of age, 4 years on from this fight, carrying another 8 pounds. Will he be as quick and fleet-footed on his feet? But the logic will dictate that he won't be. And that will give Canelo another opportunity.
For Golovkin in this third fight, he has to try and back Canelo into the corner, onto the ropes, and work away. When he does get him there, stiff jabs to the body, big overhand rights to the body, then over the top. So important that he works upwards.
Psychologically, Canelo would have had to have gone through quite a spectrum of emotions in this fight, because normally he's hit fighters and they fall, and he's certainly put a dent in just about everybody he's faced. But with Golovkin, he met somebody that, for the first time, he landed about as clean as he's ever landed, and there was kind of little to no reaction. And that has to do something to you as a fighter, no matter how mentally strong you are.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Golovkin knows this will go to the distance if he was to win the fight. I don't think Look, I guess when you carry the power he does, there's always a chance that, if you catch someone on the sweet spot, they could go. But Canelo's proved time and time again his chin is granite. And unless he was to catch him on the absolute sweet spot, I think this would be going the distance if Golovkin was to win this. But I think for Canelo, he's got to be elusive. He's got to be moving his head side to side, using those feet in and out of range. And he cannot afford to give up space. Look how much more effective he is when he's fighting from the centre of the ring.
Into round 12 of the first fight, and one of the shots that Canelo landed throughout the contest was the uppercut, and because of the way that Golovkin positions himself, there it is now.
It's a beautiful shot. Golovkin always needs to be fighting, needs to be on the front foot. Step back. Damage that right uppercut done to Billy was very extensive and ultimately caused him to win the fight. So for Golovkin, he has to remain balanced. He can't be falling over that front foot. Again, you see that right hand, he's starting to really time it. It's late in the fight, but still, this is something you've got to be wary of in this first fight.
It's very interesting end to the first 36 minutes that these two shared together, and that brings us on nicely to the second encounter. So a year after their first encounter, the electricity, you can feel it. Fans are still standing up. There was
in the black, Gennadiy Golovkin in the white. This is round 13.
Alvarez is visibly less muscular, at least in his upper body, than he was 1 year ago. We'll see if that translates into faster hands and more physical combinations.
This is as far back as I'm going to go.
Well, you've always talked about the ring within the ring, and I don't think at any point in this fight, there may have been the odd occasion, but almost at no point in this fight do either of their backs touch the ropes, which is remarkable and very, very rare in boxing. And it says much about, they had a very similar game plan, it's who could execute it. But Golovkin's jab working well in the early stages here, but what we saw from Canelo was he was far more authoritative, and as you said, the counters got Golovkin's attention early, and he was less reactive to Golovkin's feints. He held his feet more, didn't he?
Absolutely. The jab of Golovkin is key for him to win in this third fight. In the first fight, that's what he done so well, he jabbed. But in this second fight, we see Canelo jabbing far more than he did in the first fight. He realised that was one of Golovkin's best shots, best assets, so he tried to nullify that by throwing his own jab. So important that, first off, the battle for centre ring is going to be very keen on watching who holds the centre ring and who can dictate behind that jab first.
But I do see Abel with tonight. That's just all about knock him out. Don't give him too much respect. Yeah, that's why I'm the perfect. You got to allow Canelo to throw, catch and shoot. Let it take a little bit. Because the long as you make it
come down instantly, and then he jabs behind it. So it's an interesting battle for centre of the ring here, and they're constantly stepping around each other all the time, neither really taking a backward step.
No, not at all. And like I said, the importance of the Golovkin jab, he's so smart with it, head and body. See, dipping the hands, like you say, getting the reaction and firing back with a stiff jab. That sets everything else up. You see the uppercut sliding in there. All of Golovkin's best work comes from behind that jab. Really, really intelligent boxer. That's why he was such a successful amateur and won so many fights as a professional. But what we see here with Canelo, how he disguises that left hook to the head. We see it against Kovalev, didn't we? That finishing left hook. Disguise it to the body, comes straight round to the head. It does it so well. I believe that shot reversed would be very good against Golovkin.
That's the shot that Ryan Garcia took Luke Campbell out with, wasn't it?
Exactly. Tap upstairs or even disguise it and throw it to the body. We see again, we've touched on it numerous times about how much Golovkin was hurt by Murata with those body shots. So I think changing the levels with that left hook, very important for Canelo.
You see there just that little pull counter uppercut that he bolos in, the one that he hurt Billy Joe Saunders with, we hit Danny Jacobs with when he switched to southpaw in their contest. That's a kind of autopilot shot for him on the counter. Let's look a little bit further on.
Yeah, you're going to start backing him up. Everyone says to fight like they train. Start backing him up. But Canelo is fighting a fight that his team wanted to fight. He's doing a good job. Canelo is very effective in his game.
here of Canelo. He's so centered, doesn't fall over the front foot. He's always poised to throw the counter shots. And as you see the fight sort of going through the rounds, you see him starting to slip and slide and look for the openings. Look how well balanced.
Yeah, can we hold that there?
That is really good.
Absolutely tasty, isn't it? And it's different to the first fight because more of his weight is over the back foot, but the front foot is still in punching range, which means when he leans back, he's centered and acts for stuff like the right hand counters, the pull counter uppercut, and it means Golovkin's got to go a lot further over his front foot in order to land his shots.
It's harder to land the target when the weight's on the back foot of your opponent, but it doesn't mean if you're Canelo you can't be aggressive on the front foot. We've seen it there. Yes, more weight's on the back foot, but he's still able to creep forward like that. Also, what this allows you to do is spring in and out of range, avoiding shots, landing shots. He's so smart. And what we see later on in this round is Canelo moving side to side, and he can do that because his balance is so centered.
Yeah, he starts to get outside the right hand when Golovkin throws. He starts to read it and throw the left hook to the body, and he starts to kind of go through the combinations off of Golovkin's right hand. So we'll have a look at a little bit of that later in the contest. Let's just play this one through then and just have a look at the position of the pair of them. See, Golovkin's much more shelled up and again susceptible to the left hooks, the counter uppercuts through the middle. And with 4 more years on the clock and a couple more fights, with an 8 pounds extra that Canelo will be carrying, probably more than that in the ring on fight night, there's a good chance he'll get hurt by shots like that.
Do you see the 2 shots there? He slips on the outside of the jab, he misses with the right hand, then he slips inside and throws the left to the body. I feel Canelo felt he hurt Golovkin with those body shots, as Murata did.
That's the shot that Murata got him with, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and I think that's the shot Canelo's going to be looking for an awful lot in this contest.
On the inside, isn't
what they both do, they're both extremely clever, but Golovkin, this is his bread and butter, this is what he does. Canelo's really sort of grown into this sort of fighter, but they go wide with the shots, but they'll always come through the middle after. So much variation with the work. Once you're going round here and the elbow comes round, it then opens the guard to bring up the uppercut, and they tap, they drop, they work the levels, but the way they slide the uppercuts through it is done with such ease, but they do it with so much class. And what potentially, I'll just look at that his last fight, Golovkin against Murata. He looked old, he looked like he was aging, he got the job done, yes, but he was hurt with body shots, and we've seen what a vicious body puncher Canelo is. Can he stop him? I'm not sure, but one thing's for certain, it's going to be a blockbuster.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see that kind of respect again after these two meeting. 4 years since the last time that they clashed, this time at 168 pounds. The undisputed World Super Middleweight Championships on the line, September 17th in Las Vegas. The third fight between Canelo Alvarez and Gennadiy Golovkin.
This is the US Hennessy preview show. Brought my boys back, Ak and Barak. This is it now. This is it. All gets real now. The weigh-ins have just wrapped up. The fans are dispersing back home behind us. They, like us, can't wait for what's going to be. I'm telling you now, it's going to be war Saturday night.
I could be wrong, but that might be the first time a live performance walked through for a weigh-in. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter.
Floyd Mayweather's the only one that's ever done something like that.
All right, well, look, it's been a long time.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess he's Floyd Mayweather's status to be able to walk somebody out and have that type of crowd.
Floyd came with a circus at a weigh-in. Like, who does that?
You think Floyd has a little influence on the boy Canelo?
I think Canelo says, this is me now. Floyd is gone, so I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
There's no doubt Floyd will probably be tweeting about something about that in the next couple of hours. What do you make of both guys on the scales? GGG, I was waiting for him to see what his body looked like at 168. Looked good. I thought he looked really good.
I think, again, I've been talking about it all week. It's a relief. Imagine trying to make 160 for that many fights, 20 defensive. He fought after that at 160 and having a break. Okay, I can eat a little bit more. I think we're going to get a better version of Triple G than we saw against Murata.
Especially at the age of 40, you know, those pounds just come, muscle deteriorates. I think that we're going to get a better fight. But first of all, let's not forget that we already had 2 great fights. He says the best trilogy ever, you know. So it's going to be a tough fight no matter. It's going to be the tough fight no matter what.
Yeah, no, it probably will be. You know, we mentioned about him going to 168. Like, I asked him yesterday, why is it taking so long to go to 168? There was a time when GGG was 100%, and he still probably is now the best middleweight on the planet. And everyone was like, jump up, go to 168, maybe even go 175. Why is it taking until 40 to want to add those extra 8 pounds?
That's a great question. He was criticized for years after that. I mean, there was a point in time I think he was going to probably fight Carl Froch at 168.
Yeah.
You know, we all know Andre Ward wanted that fight at 168, but then guys resort to talking about Marvin Hagler, who was a middleweight for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he was comfortable for that long. We don't know, but he got criticized for that. He's done it. He's doing it now.
Right, he got criticized for that, and also he didn't go up to fight Andre Ward. Andre Ward says it's his fault. He says it's Andre Ward's fault. But also, in the past few years, since he's fought Canelo, he hasn't fought the top guys. Right. And that's where the criticism comes from, and it kind of makes sense.
But on the flip side of that, I mean, you got to respect and admire the discipline that a fighter will have that long to keep making that weight. Because oftentimes we talk about, oh, you get older, you need to move up in weight. But Rock always says, no, it's the discipline. These guys are eating more, they're not training as hard. How about a guy at that age with that type of discipline?
Oh, 100%. He has Camacho, who's a strength and conditioning coach, and he's amazing over there in L.A. But I just think that we're going to have a tough fight, but we got to see how 168, you know, how it fits Triple G. You know, how it actually fits him. Some might, 8 more pounds. Yeah, you could eat more and you feel good on the scale, but you're carrying more weight.
Some people could say the same for Canelo, right? I mean, this is a guy that went to 175 in his last fight. He's coming back down in weight. You know, you get used to, okay, I can have the extra meal at 175. Now it's like, okay, I've got to shrink my body back down to 168. And he's been doing that kind of jump, 168, 175, 168. That takes its toll on the body doing that, doesn't it?
It does, but Canelo is a smaller guy.
And a younger guy.
And he's fought at 140, 147, 154. Yeah. So he's not going that far back down. We all know that 175 seems big for him. I think this is his ideal way for Canelo Alvarez. We're going to get the better version of him. We got a guy who has a chip on his shoulder, a guy that has that much pressure from all these fans coming out tomorrow night. I think he's ready for the moment.
Let's talk about the differences and what they've done since their second fight. Canelo's gone on to become undisputed, a champion at 175. A couple of gimmies in there, right? You're okay to have you can have a couple of gimmies. Don't tell me Yildirim wasn't a gimme.
No. But he's earned the right.
No,
ignore those. Ignore those.
Yildirim wasn't a gimme. He was a mandatory.
It was,
that he had to keep the WBC
belt. It was a gimme match.
No, it was not a gimme.
How you disrespecting your countryman Rocky Fielding?
No.
Who was the champion, the WBA champion at the time?
Rocky.
And went up in weight. So what? First time Canelo going up in weight. First deal. First fight on a deal with DAZN. Listen, it was a showcase fight at Madison Square Garden. Are we going to bring that up?
Do we care right now who's the 168-pound WBA regular champion?
No, because Canelo is the undisputed 168 champion, and he beat everybody for those belts.
Indeed. For Golovkin, though, he hasn't been as busy. Now, some might say, well, that could benefit him, right? He's not had the tough fights. He's maybe, older, but the fresher of the two, because he's not done as much work.
Less wear and tear.
Fight. Yeah, less wear and tear.
You know what we can also say? That this man wanted to fight Canelo so badly, he just said, let me get these softer touches so that nothing happens. I don't get no cuts. I don't get hurt. I don't get nothing. And I get the guy that I want.
Look, we've got so much content on the DAZN platform, loads of content. You want to know a bit more about the great man Canelo, like obviously Ak likes to know about the great man Canelo, then go and watch this, DAZN Canelo Unwrapped.
Regularmente se dice que el boxeo es el deporte de los pobres, de los humildes, y pues es cierto. La mayoría de los campeones que hemos tenido son gente de clase media hacia abajo, gente que buscó una oportunidad en el boxeo y se le dieron las cosas. Toda la gente se fija ya cuando tienen los cinturones, cuando tienen los carros, cuando tienen las casas, cuando tienen 1000 cosas que no tenían cuando iban empezando. pero son años de trabajo, años de sacrificio. Para todos los mexicanos creo que hablar de boxeo es llenarse uno de orgullo. ¿Por qué? Porque hemos tenido muchos atletas muy buenos. Estamos hablando de más de 150 campeones que ha producido el boxeo mexicano. Julio César Chávez, Juan Manuel Márquez, Marco Antonio Barrera. Muchos deportistas que han dado su vida al boxeo y que han ido a todo el mundo y les han levantado la mano, han dejado una huella importante para nuestro boxeo, para nuestro deporte y más que nada para México. Y creo que todo eso es parte de que un deportista lo amen en nuestro país. Creo que poco a poco, tanto los aficionados mexicanos como los aficionados al boxeo se han dado cuenta que Canelo es uno de los grandes deportistas que hay hoy en día. El boxeador mexicano, por cultura, se puede decir, es un boxeador que siempre le golpean bien al cuerpo, que tienen buenas combinaciones, que son buenos para tirar sus ganchos. Como mexicano, que es Saúl, pues se le facilita porque es la escuela netamente mexicana, una escuela de ganchos. Yo creo que Saúl es uno de los peleadores más completos que hay en el mundo porque sabe trabajar las piernas, sabe trabajar su defensa, sabe fintar, sabe tirar un buen jab, tiene muy buenas combinaciones. Más que nada es un peleador inteligente arriba del ring. El primer día que lo conocí, le preguntaron que como quién quería ser. Y como en ese entonces el campeón mundial era el Chololo, y dice, pues quiero ser como el Chololo. Y el Chololo le dijo, no, tú vas a ser más bueno que yo. Pues al final sí se cumplió la profecía y mira, llegó más que el Chololo.
Cuando empiezan a gritar los aficionados, Canelo, México, pues obviamente te motivas y te emocionas más, ¿no?
No, muy bonito llegar a la arena y ver que afuera del estadio están los mariachis, estar contenta la gente y ver como un carnaval mexicano. Eso nos llena mucho de orgullo. ¿Por qué? Porque venimos de México, venimos a Estados Unidos y es donde realmente se siente el apoyo de la afición y se ve que se está viviendo, como dicen, el sueño americano. Venir a Estados Unidos a triunfar y venir a hacer una fiesta en otro país creo que es lo más grande que hay.
The Mexican fans are probably the most passionate and knowledgeable boxing fans out there. They get to the venue early to watch the earlier fight. Very passionate about their own, love to sing, love to dance, love music. In his fight against Abdi Yildirim, we had J Balvin perform, who's a huge star. And the ring walk was 7 minutes, right? With fireworks, spectacular going off, and these 40 dancers on the stage. And you can just see Yildirim watching, going, oh no.
Los aficionados pues obviamente son importantes para mí, ¿no? Y quiero que se lleven un buen sabor de boca a cada evento que van, a cada pelea y obviamente que estén orgullosos de lo que estoy haciendo, de siempre poner a los latinos, a México en alto y eso es muchísimo para mí.
La gente, el apoyo que me da es la motivación para seguir mejorando. Esto es por ustedes. Solamente quiero decirle que muchas gracias a todos. De corazón, muchas gracias.
Saúl es un peleador ganador. Él se ha ganado el respeto del público, de los colegas. Él quiere ser un ejemplo para todos los mexicanos.
Las peleas son una motivación para mí. Siempre me preparo al 100% para ganar. Y más que nada quiero seguir haciendo historia en el boxeo y ser uno de los mejores peleadores de la historia.
So much else to watch on DAZN as well, the platform. Making a Triple G is a very good one as well. Make sure you watch that one in the lead up to what will be a magnificent fight. Remember, tomorrow evening, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Scan the QR code. You really don't want to miss this one. I want to talk about the first two fights. I already know that you don't think GGG won any of them, so I'm not coming to you. No, I'm not even coming to you first.
He could already tell you that Triple G didn't win the third one. He could already tell you that.
Hey, listen, I can see the future.
You can see the future.
No, let me comment on that, because I got a lot of hate on social media from yesterday's show. Truth of the matter, this is all subjective in opinion. Judges judge fights differently. I don't agree with the bird card, obviously. It was a very close fight, the first one. I specifically talk about the second one when I say I saw.
No. That's because you're scared to talk about the first.
In the lead up to a trilogy, in the lead up to a trilogy, all I want to know is, did, in your eyes, Gennadiy Golovkin win the first one? Did Canelo win the second one? Is it 1-1 going into the third? That's what I'm asking.
No, we can't technically say that. The first one was called a draw. We have to respect the judges.
These guys landed flush punches, literally. Didn't move neither one of them. Look at this. This
honestly,
was a phenomenal epic battle.
Incredible.
Epic battle.
And I thought,
2017.
in regards to this fight, I thought that Canelo was doing very well boxing and moving and maybe gassed out. But Triple G took advantage of that and really started applying pressure. This was a great fight.
Oh, no,
that's
honestly,
why it ended in a draw.
It was a fantastic fight. Barack, come on, make some sense of this guy. The first fight, did you have Golovkin winning the first fight?
Yes, Golovkin probably won the first fight.
This is the first time Barack has said that live.
No, by numbers. Golovkin won the first fight.
Yeah.
But I did think that Canelo outboxed him. I did think, even though he was moving back, he was outboxing. He was landing the better shots. Understand, this is something that Triple G always does. He doubles you in jabs.
Yeah.
He literally doubles Canelo in landed jabs. To me, that's not what's going to win the fight. I like to see the flush shots, like when Keith Thurman was fighting Sean Porter. You see the flush shots that Keith Thurman was landing, or Errol Spence. Like, that's what I like to see. So in reality, I actually thought Canelo won the first fight because of that. Now, numbers would tell you that Triple G won. And now, I don't like that the people say that Triple G won a second fight when the first argument was he backed up Canelo all fight. He backed up Canelo all fight. And then what happened in the second fight?
Okay, well, look, we're going to see some pictures of the second fight. The
But
second fight
do you feel
was
that
fantastic.
Canelo has won this fight?
Absolutely.
Clearly?
Canelo, no, not clearly, but Canelo won.
It was questionable?
No, Canelo won the second fight. This is what Ade's able to do. I'm able to say Canelo won the second fight, GGG won the first. You seem incapable of saying GGG won the first fight.
I don't think there's anybody that really catches Canelo as flush as Triple G catches him.
Yeah.
Hey, newsflash. First fight was still a draw. Second one, Canelo got the decision. So we already know technically what the records say. But as far as this fight, can you deny that Triple G was backed up?
I'm not asking you about the records. I'm asking you as a guy that used to box, a guy that's been covering the sport for nearly 10 years.
A guy that goes to dinner with Canelo after every fight.
All right. Oh, wait a minute.
See.
A guy that goes to dinner with Canelo with Barack every time. Listen, this is a phenomenal fight, and I give credit to Triple G, but there's no question that Canelo backed Triple G this entire fight, hurt him through the body, and yes, he got hit with jabs, but he was landing the power shots, and that's why he got decision. That's why you see Triple G's face like that.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at the draw for the first fight, and I understand if they put it in Triple G's favor, I wouldn't have been upset.
Yeah, and I guess that's why, because of the controversial scores in both fights, that we're getting a third fight.
There's always one.
We got to get it right. We got to get a third one, and we do get it tomorrow. Predictions. I know you guys like to maybe stay on the fence because you want to be a bit impartial. But predictions. How do you think the third fight plays out?
The third fight, I think, is going to be as competitive as the second one. I think Triple G has a lot to prove. We all know that he feels he won both fights. Canelo is coming off of a loss, and he dislikes this man. So I think we're going to see two giants collide in the ring, and I think the defense of Canelo's head movement is going to be the difference of the fight. He's going to slip a lot of punches that Triple G is not going to be able to slip, and I think Canelo's going to push him back and win a unanimous decision on Saturday night.
Even though Canelo has some advantages over Triple G still seems to land a lot of punches, more than any other fighter, you understand? Now, I don't make predictions, but I can say that it's not going to be a knockout probably of Triple G that people are saying. No. Even though anything can happen, I don't believe Canelo's going to knock him out, even though that's what everybody wants. I think it's going to be a really tough, close fight again.
Who wins?
I don't make
He
predictions.
doesn't make predictions.
I try to sneak it out of
I'm happy
him.
to say, you know what? It's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough fight.
Oh, you guys are so
Gonna
That's
be
not
a
even
tough
a
fight.
defense.
From myself, from
Suckers.
Ak and Barak. Look, we'll see you tomorrow. Remember, it's live on DAZN Pay-Per-View. Scan the QR code. You don't want to miss this one, trust me.
Very few fights can be called super fights. This is one of them. Both men are firing what they've got.
This is a draw. There has to be a rematch. And new WBC. There's a score to settle.
There's real bad blood here.
Everybody wants to fight, right? He took a lot of shit.
I don't want talking with him. I want to fight.